"60 years ago, a 4-year-old child was inspired by the steam trains running past his house in Portsmouth to build a garden railway. And over the next 60 years he continued to expand and change his railway in different places and locations. That child was the late Peter Jones, who sadly passed away earlier this year. But we've been invited to come to the most recent incarnation of the railway, that is Compton Down."
Hello, welcome to Compton Down. The railway is a slate railway built on a convenient scale, 16 mil to the foot in the garden, powered mostly by steam but not exclusively, but mostly about trying to capture a mood, an atmosphere. And for that reason I'm not going to say very much, but invite you to sit back and look at the pictures.
Peter was a friend of my mother-in-law's, and she used to bring me here every summer for a pilgrimage, and I became hooked on just the railway that he created here. He was only 4 years old when he created the first Compton Down Railway, and all his railways have been called the Compton Down Railway ever since. And this incarnation here is the current incarnation of it, 60 years on from that first one.
It's not your typical back garden railway, is it?
It certainly isn't, no. It's a complete industrial landscape here. It's got brickworks, it's got ironworks, it's got waterworks. It's just a completely different idea to most people's idea of a garden railway.
So what was Peter's philosophy?
Peter had many philosophies. In my view, he was a 16 mil sculptor rather than an actual railway modeller.
It's followed him round from Portsmouth to Devon and then to Pembrokeshire, and sort of 2 sites in Pembrokeshire. It's stayed here for 30 years and developed on from there, and it's just grown and would keep on growing and will keep on developing even though he's not able to continue. And he'd been planning to make it easier and make space and get things moved out, but then planning what to put in their place. Very, very creative, very personal, and just purely it's a more of a landscape approach to set the engines off. It's not just about running engines, it's about light and atmosphere, sound, just the whole landscape to drop into the background. It's very rare that when people have been here recently, they haven't realised how small the garden is, because it's all cameo shots that have appeared in the 1,000 of articles that he's done.
Peter's legacy is huge. He was an inspiration to so many people. If you read his memorial book on the internet, it's people from all over the world, literally all over the world, who've bought magazines simply because Peter had written a small piece, and have bought his books and have found him so inspirational and are willing to say so.
It's one of those things that when you're a kid you just think everyone's parents do this, and it's you suddenly realise how special and different it is, even to other garden railways. And I think it with all of us, especially with my mum, I don't think it would have existed without her understanding and time, and between the two of them they created something incredibly special.